Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today I want to give you my guide and breakdown for how to quickly level up your Season 9 level, rank, reward track so that you can quickly get all of the items that you want on the Season Pass. Now, the reason why I find this important to share around is that because, of course, the new exotics are tied to the Season track like they usually are. You can see right here at rank 55, you get the Dread Edict Marksman Rifle, you get the blue screen at 85, and then the Catharsis at 90. And so I'm assuming that a lot of people are going to want to upgrade that fast, and there are many different ways to quickly level up your season. Let me just say this from the bat. I know I'm not the first to be making a video on this. I made one myself, 2 years ago or something. Plenty of people have already made one for TU15 and Season 9 specifically. Like I said, I made one in the past, and so, full credit and shout out to all those people. I just figured there are a lot of new people jumping into the game, and there are a lot of people who want to go in, get their exotics, get other stuff on the season track, and so I figured why not make my own quick guide just to let anyone know who watches my channel what I personally use to rank up my season fast, because as I said, there are a lot of differing opinions on what people think is the best way to rank up your season fast, but I can tell you that I personally use this method that I'm going to show you in this video and have used it ever since Season 2, and I've never had any consideration or thought about switching my method. So even if maybe there is some statistical other way to do it, if you run somewhere, complete an activity, fast travel, reset, blah, 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 do all these different steps, maybe that would get you slightly more XP, per hour or whatever. But I guarantee you this will rank you up very fast, and it's much more straightforward than having to do all of that. And that is what I personally use, and so that is why I want to share this information with you all today. As I said, I know I'm not the first to be making this kind of video. I'm not claiming to be in any sort of way, and I did make one myself back for, I think it was like Season 3, but a lot has changed since then. A lot of new people are around in the game, and I want to spread this information around to as many people as possible. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so as you can see in the upper corner, I'm already ranked 34. Obviously, the update just came out 2 days ago, so it's pretty solid. I haven't dedicated a ton of time yet to specifically leveling it up. I've been focusing a lot on countdown, but the levels that I do have certainly came from this method. And so let's just get into it without further ado. The secret is resource convoys. You can see these activities here on the map. You will find them going around from hostile control points to other hostile control points, and clearing those with a certain set of specifications turned on your map will net you huge XP gains, and you can complete them very quickly. So there are a few steps that you have to ensure first. The first thing you're going to want to do is you see these control points that I've already completed. You're going to want to turn your entire map hostile so that you have the most possible chance for the most resource convoys to spawn and have different, paths to go between. So the way you do that, here on my map, you can see at the bottom, global settings is what you want. It's right on the D-pad on Xbox here. You hit that, reset control points, confirm settings, and then you just have to wait those 10 seconds. And then the only ones I have completed are these 3, but you'll see those turn red once I do this. And that's just where you want to set your map to begin this whole process, because like I said, you're going to have the most options. Once that's the case, there we go. And you can see we already have a few going. Now that's the first step, but also what you want to do before you go out and get these resource convoys is set on your difficulty and a few directives, because that is going to drastically increase the amount of XP you gain from these activities, and they're really not that hard to do once you know what you're doing. Again, this part is going to vary depending on your proficiency with the game, how comfortable you are with these different things, and so of course, work up to my level over time if you need to. I recommend Heroic. I think you can do it with a lot of different builds, but if you need to turn it down to challenging or hard just to get accustomed to it, certainly do that, but I think you should work towards Heroic because that is, in my eyes, doable with a lot of different types of builds. So that's what I have mine on. And then they actually have some pretty nice directives this season. Sometimes the directives can be pretty challenging to work around if you don't want to run specific builds. But the directives they have on this season are pretty universal as far as, being accessible to a lot of build types without shutting anything out. So the ones that I recommend you run for this thing are Fog of War Revisited, Hard to Earn, Ragers, and Scavenge skills. What those are going to do, Fog of War takes away your minimap, which isn't hugely important because you can see the enemies for this activity pretty clearly. Hard to Earn means you start with no armor kits, but you can still acquire them just by going out and fighting and filling up your signature ammo bar. This one I would say is probably going to be the hardest for people. If they want to turn that on or off, I wouldn't blame you. Ragers, it's a lot of text. Basically, they just get more health over time if you kill enemies near other ones. And then Scavenge skills turns your skills away from numeric cooldowns to tickets that you have to pick up from downed enemies, and then that will then replenish your skills, which can obviously take longer than a skill cooldown, but sometimes in this case, you're actually getting your cooldowns back faster than you would be waiting for the cooldown, because you can just pick up, 2 tickets and you have, I'm using a Banshee Pulse, and that comes back right away. So that's what we want to turn on, those 4 directives with Heroic, and you're going to be getting a lot of XP. Again, if you need to work up to that over time, start with a lower difficulty, start with fewer directives, do that, but for now, we're going to confirm those settings. Alright, so as you can see, we now have a few that have popped up. Again, you're looking for these red resource convoy activities that have the little dotted line heading to any control points. Those are what you want to head for, and so let's do one of them, and I will show you what exactly they entail. Alright, so we're now here waiting for this one to show up. Let me mark it so we can see it. And the general idea with these things is that it's 4 enemies carrying some resources, obviously resource convoy, and when you intercept them, they drop the resources, and once you kill them, there are 2 additional waves of reinforcements, and then once you defeat those, you can pick up those resources they dropped, and you get your XP. The reason I'm waiting for this one to get to here is because I know that if I stop them right here, their spawn closet is going to be that door right there. And this is the kind of stuff that you learn over time as you do these more and more, which is why it becomes such an effective farm. Like, I know that this one I would want to stop here. The one that's on this path, I would want to stop right here. There's a good door right there, or even right here. There's a good door there. I don't do that one much. These ones over here, I know there's a really good manhole cover right here. Like, after you do this stuff for a while, you get to know where the good spawn points are. This one, I would stop it right there. So that's just the kind of stuff that you're going to learn over time. So this does take a little bit of time to get used to, but like I said, since I've been doing this since Season 2, I've just become so, the process is so ingrained in my mind that I can do it super efficiently, and you get tons and tons of XP for doing it. So we're going to wait just a second for them to get a little bit closer so that I know they get to the spawn point, and then we're going to get at it. And just for reference, before they get here, I'm using a good gun damage focus build. Because of the directives this season, you don't really have to worry about using Pistolero or anything that requires you to use certain items. So anything you can kill things with fast that can have a little bit of survivability is going to do you a lot of wonders. If you need build recommendations, you can always ask in the comments below, but really a lot of stuff will work, and you'll kind of see what challenge we're in for here. So again, they're going to spawn out of that one door both times, which is why I'm so prepared. So let's get them here. Then we get at it. Build up my chameleon bonus quick. And once you get up this first wave and they start spawning, that's when you really want to make sure they don't come out of that door, and that's how you do it super fast. So you see they're all going to come out of that one door, and because my build is set up for this, I can just get them right there, start on the next wave immediately, stop them all right there. If I can fight through the hyena confuse effect, get this last one, and just like that, watch the XP bar. 700,000 is for one level, and getting that nets you 587,000 experience for doing heroic on 4 directives. Now, obviously, if you lower that to challenging or you run less directives, then you're going to get less experience per resource convoy. So again, that's up to you. I recommend over time you work up to the point I'm at, because 587,000 is what, over 80% of one level. So that's very good. So that's how those work. You stop them at a certain place. These things are the resources. You pick up that when you're done. And then wherever you stop them at and wherever you kill the enemies is that one spawn closet they're going to come out of. Again, it varies, obviously, depending on where you are around the entire map. But once you learn the spawn points, once you learn how the resource convoys work, they're a very fast farm. You can do them sometimes, 30 seconds, under a minute. And then once you're done, you just fast travel around. I would go to this one next, then I might go to this one, then I might do one over here, and in that time, more will spawn around the map, and you just keep that cycle going for as long as you want, and that is how you get those fast ranks. I'll show you one more, just so that you have a good reference, but yeah, I think you're pretty much set to go. You should hopefully get a better idea now of what resource convoys entail. Alright, so now we're over here. I'm going to do this last one just to give you another example. Again, resource convoy coming up this way. I could have stopped them right here and they would have spawned out of that door, but this spot right here is actually one of my absolute favorites in the game as far as resource convoys go, because if I get them right there, then they're going to spawn out of a door right down in that driveway, and it's super easy to contain them like that. So I'm just going to let them get a little bit closer, and then we will kick it off. All right, let's do it. And usually they're not. If you do an elite resource convoy, then they'll all be elites, but usually there's a good amount of red and yellows in there, so it's really not that challenging. It's just about if you can make sure to contain them. I think that's even more important than anything, because if they spread out a bunch, then that obviously reduces your efficiency, blah, blah, blah. So you can see they come out of this driveway. Super easy to keep them in here. The Banshee Pulse is a really great skill for this. You get it from the gunner specialization. Super good for crowd control. Locking them down as long as they have good damage. They're going to die before you even know it. Get this last one. That's all of them down. Run back out here. Another 587,000 experience. And just like that, we started rank 34, we're now rank 36, so you can see just how effective a farm this is. Again, it takes a little bit of time to get accustomed to the routes, the spawn points, all that stuff. You get a good build together, but I promise you this is going to be an insanely fast method over time. And like I said, this is what I've been personally using ever since Season 2. It will not fail you. So that's about all I have, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on to be updated every time I upload. Let me know your thoughts on this little farming method that I've showed you today. If you have any of your own that you prefer more than this, certainly leave them down in the comments below. As I said, there are many ways to do this, and many people have made many different videos on those different methods. I just prefer this the most, and as I said, this is what I personally use, which is the only reason why I would recommend it to you as well, because this is, yeah, what I used to get my season rank up pretty fast. Probably sometime over this weekend, I'm going to try and dedicate more time to getting closer to 100 because I want to get that Catharsis mask. But until then, now you have the knowledge to go out and rank up your own season, so let me know how it goes. That's going to do it for me today, though, everybody. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and until the next one, guys, RogueGold out.